Behind the Shades.
Hi, I'm Colleen Hollis. I do both Reiki Energy with Reiki by Colleen. I also do novels, and so you can find it on colleensnovelsinks.com. I actually wrote Karma 1 and Karma 2, available now on Amazon and major retailers. So I do that. I'm actually in the Denver area. I do have an Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, TikTok. Are you able to plug those somewhere? Do I need to go? Okay, very good. And then, I stay locally to the Denver area as far as the Reiki energy work. And I got kiddos like we're going to discuss. So it'll be interesting to discuss the navigating life as a divorced mother and a stepmother of this said divorce. So I'm interested in being here. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. So take us right through the beginning. How long were you married and when did it end?
We were together 17 years. I met him when I was 16. He was the first person I was with, and I married him. We had our children. He had 2 children before we had met. So, I mean, he was a little bit older than me. He was in his early 20s. And so, definitely an age gap there, but I grew up in a rough area with, quite a bit of poverty and stuff. So it wasn't uncommon. So anyway, moving on from that. But yeah, so we were together 17 years. He had 2 children when we met. They were 3 and 7. They are now 23 and 27. Ours are 14, about to be 15, and then almost 17. So been navigating the whole everybody being adult or teen life. That's crazy. Everybody doing the high school thing or having, the kids have kids now and are married. So that's something interesting. So yeah, just interesting navigating all that. We did get divorced. We separated in 2020. The divorce was final in 2021. So, learning to co-parent after that, learning to, deal with our own pride and our own issues of, having to just deal with somebody divorced, and still have that relationship in the capacity of raising other people with them. So, and not trying to scar them completely. So, it's been interesting, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. We've got teenagers and just navigating that whole co-parenting thing. So.
I know sometimes, and for those who weren't privy to our very exclusive, very VIP conversation in the green room, we're talking about how when it comes to like single mothers and fathers, a lot of people are like, oh my God, you have kids. And they're running away. They don't want anything to do with them, right? But they date too. And many of them date successfully. And many of them have something to offer. And one thing I always like to discuss with those who are, let's say, maybe separated or divorced, or maybe those who weren't married, but they have children, is the dating experience, right? Like there's this running joke that, what do you bring to the table? Well, I bring myself, I bring my children, I bring my job, I bring my good looks, I bring my 6 feet, 6 inches, and 6 figures, right? But with single parents who are back on the dating market, did you find it a little bit different and or difficult dating after your divorce than it was before you got married?
Well, I think your standards are higher. I think if you're normal, because now you have these other people that depend on you, they look to you for guidance, because I do have females. I mean, I'm setting the standard for which, they're seeing me thinking is acceptable in my life for that male role, so that's all an example I'm setting for my children. So it's quite easy in that regards, because I don't have to worry about it. I mean, I'm looking for, the real deal and someone who's kind and considerate and that would really fit into the family. And if they can't, if I can't observe those traits, it wouldn't go further, and I wouldn't, even have to worry about it. So luckily.
Remember a time I told someone this story. In my 20s, I couldn't date successfully to save my life. I must have heard no so many times. And the people that said yes, I look back and I was like, Terrain, you must have been so crazy. It's like, because you're in heat, right? Like you're like, oh my gosh, she's giving me attention. There's this, there's that. But then my 30s is when my dating experience completely changed. I understood what I wanted, how I wanted it, and how to essentially get it. Did
Yeah.
you ever figure out, when you say your standards are higher, you're like, okay, this didn't work out for me the first time around. The second time, I have to make it work. Not only have to work on myself, but now I know exactly what I want and how to get it.
Well, and that took navigating the dating part, like pool, for the last couple of years too, because social media is here now. I didn't have that 20 years ago, because it was essentially 20 years ago that we had started seeing each other. So I'm essentially dating after 20 years, a couple of years ago. And so to me, it's just so foreign that, I mean, a lot of times you don't even go on a second date because you just personality wise aren't compatible. And like you said, when you have somebody who has children, that's even more stickler, because if they don't have children, they really don't know the selflessness of that side of you. They just feel like there maybe some competition could be there. They're just like, there's so many aspects of somebody who hasn't had children. Then they still might want children. My children are 15 and almost 17. I mean, that's something you have to think of. Dating now, 35-year-olds don't have children. They did 20 years ago where I'm from. Everybody got married right away and had a family, And so when I met my kids' dad and my ex-husband at 16, we were together for 20 years then, you know what I mean? Because his parents were together that long, you know what I mean? Like my parents were together like that. We had step parents. So I guess both sets of parents had been 30 plus years, you know what I mean? So we had been shown to have a long-standing relationship. So so now it's just different because we didn't have social media. We didn't have, like, you had age, sex, location in a chat room when I was younger, ASL or whatever. That's all you had. So now it's like you can swipe right or left. It's just crazy. It's a crazy concept to me. So it is difficult navigating because I want to do it more organically. So I've decided no apps for me. I'm just going to meet someone. I'm not difficult to look at. So someone's going to approach me, I'm sure. But it's been interesting. Totally different than dating 20 years ago. So, and I'm a businesswoman. I'm a stepmom. Not everybody wants to be a step parent, let alone understand why I would continue to be a step parent after the divorce and that relationship dissolves. I put so much sweat and tears in those kids, I mean, for 20 years, I helped raise these children. So, and now they're adults and they're beautiful and they take care of themselves. So I'm still, I still do the whole birthday. I still do like sending the whole $20 for their anniversary. You know what I mean? Like I'm still a parent. So whether or not I have that title anymore, it doesn't matter to me. And they don't care either, so.
I was speaking to a young lady that I help because I work with at-risk women find success in the 3 forms of relationship: personal, professional, and romantic. And she's about 61 years old. And I always tell the story to her. I was like, when you met your now ex-husband, it must have been at the point where you took the ferry for 10 cents. You went to the farmer's market and you met him. He was there selling fruits and vegetables, right? Because there's a different time, like let's say 40, 45 years ago. Now, as you mentioned, it's okay. He looks okay. And we swipe right. I don't know about this, his profile, swipe left. Now the influx and the options are so much more. I remember when I used to be on dating apps years ago, probably 2016, maybe 15. I'll be having a conversation. Let's say I'm talking to Colleen and I'm swiping. I have no idea what the person looks like. I'm swiping until my thumb is flat. Like I'm swiping like that, right?
Energy level, like, because I do Reiki energy work, I love the convenience of being able to see a lot of people. I live near the city. I can't possibly have that many first dates. Like I understand the convenience of it. Plus, I don't want a smoker. So if it's on there, I can swipe it. Like you can get information. So it's nice. Like if someone's 52 and they don't have any children, or like they specify, certain things, it's nice because you can just weed it out. You know what I mean? Like you just get it out of there, But yeah, so I see the purpose of it to some degree. It's just different than anything I ever encountered before. So